Hi, I'm Dr. Frank Stahl. About 30 years ago, I drove with my car from Malmö up to Halmstad in Sweden. It was snow and ice, and because I had some lectures up in Halmstad, so I had to drive a little bit fast, and I drove far too fast for the street conditions, I have to admit. And I had a very, very bad accident, resulting in total damage of my car. 2 years later, I had to go to the university in Lund, just a rather short distance, and I was going out to my car when I started feeling strange. I don't know how to explain it. I went into my car, I started to drive, it was snowing, and suddenly, totally without any notice, for no apparent reason, I just felt terror. My heart was pounding, I couldn't breathe, I felt nauseous, numb, dizzy, my mind was racing. I didn't know what was going on. I felt pain in my stomach. I thought maybe I have a heart attack or something, because it moved up to my chest, and then my hands started tingling and going numb. I didn't know what it was. I just knew I was afraid. I didn't have any reason to be afraid. I felt pain in my stomach, and I had those chills, those hot flashes. I was trembling. I didn't know why. Why did everything feel just like a nightmare? What unimaginable, terrifying thing was about to happen? All I wanted to do was run away, just escape from everything. I came to my class at the university and I started crying. I was totally gone. I couldn't concentrate on anything anymore. I just wanted to get away. That was my first panic attack. I realized that later. Well, it wasn't the only one. The panic attacks, they came again, and they increased in frequency. Every time I approached my car, those started, and then it was just enough to think about having to go out to the car, whether it was rain or sunshine or snow or whatever it was. It didn't matter anymore. It just went on, and at the end of the day, I stayed indoors. And I think many people do understand that after a while I had to diagnose this as panic attacks, and I couldn't do very much about them. I was a psychologist, I was a shrink, okay? But I felt helpless since I had many, many patients with those panic attacks, and I did the normal, then known treatments with them, but that did not help very much. They helped just for the moment, but it always came back again. So what could I do for myself? I started analyzing what had happened, and after some time I started seeing the connection to the accident a couple of years earlier. And since the reaction did not come immediately, I had difficulties to find those connections. Then I started analyzing all my patients, and I started to reprogram their brains, thus creating the understanding for what was happening to them. And I could start to see results. I experimented with hypnosis and self-hypnosis, and at the end, I created a tape that I called the DreamWalk, because it was in my dreams where I could change what had happened to me and to my patients. The results came rather quickly. Patients who had been suffering for years suddenly stopped having their attacks. And if they started in any way, they could stop them right away, right short after they felt, oh God, now they're coming. Like me, they could stop them. And since then, I've been working on it. I've been working with my team on improving this method, and what you see today is the result of this method and of this work. The important thing is, don't ever give up. There is help for your panic attacks. Believe me, it is. And the help is the DreamWalk. Take your time. Lie down. Relax. Listen to the DreamWalk and feel how it works in your subconscious mind, because it's there where it's working. Do it sometimes. Feel how the attacks become less and less frequent, and feel how they at the end actually do stop completely. And I can tell you one thing: the freedom you will feel will be the biggest payment you can ever receive for making the right choice. If it was physical, it would be rather easy to treat. You would give some medicine and it would disappear again. But what we have found out, now I've been a so-called shrink for 40 years, and obviously I have seen so many panic attacks, and those panic attacks, they are definitely not something physical, because I've never seen a medication that could do anything but just calm them down, cool them down, nothing more. They could not heal anything, they could not help anything. Just like a tranquilizer does, you have a fear, the tranquilizer takes you down. The moment the tranquilizer stops working, it goes up again. What I've found in all those years with thousands of patients, and what my colleagues have found in my group, every single time there has been some incident that was about sometimes a month, sometimes a week, sometimes a half a year or a year, and I've even seen it happen 2, 3, 4 years before the first panic attack actually came. That's why many people sit there and say, but nothing has happened. No, like in my case, it did not happen just the day before or the same week. It happened 2 years before. So my connection to it, well, why shouldn't it have come the year before, the reactions? It didn't. The brain needed a time to build up this defense, because fear is nothing but a defense from the brain to stop us from getting hurt. And my brain, obviously, and many others, is a little bit slow in doing it. So it takes time. And sometimes it takes many years. And once you find this way, what has happened actually, then you can start curing it, not just calming it down. Well, I would say, first of all, there are 2 different types of hypnosis. There's the stage hypnosis that works on a stage, and where the hypnotizer can do a lot of different things, make people do things they would never, ever have done in their normal life. And we have had a lot of patients coming from those stage appearances, because the patient very often is stuck in this momentum and has a lot of anxiety, depressions and everything. And you have the serious form of hypnosis, which is clinical hypnosis. There are people who claim that they can treat people just because they know some hypnosis. In order to be able to treat, you need to understand what actually is happening in the person's mind and in the subconscious mind. Otherwise, you can create quite a havoc in there. Or you don't achieve anything at all, but making a patient maybe sleep for half an hour if you succeed with that. What we are doing in our DreamWalk is something in between it all. It means you are deeply, deeply relaxed. You probably fall asleep, but you're all the time aware of what you're doing. You're all the time in control of yourself. In other words, there's never going to be a moment where you glide away completely and don't have a clue about what you're doing and then wake up and suddenly say cuckoo or anything like that. It doesn't happen. You know exactly what is happening. You can follow it all. It's your own visualization and your own work that brings you, with my help, to certain places, and in those places you get the help you need. It's an education. It's like being a school teacher, an education for your subconscious mind so it can understand where it made wrong, where it made mistakes, and then telling the brain on how to correct it, how to correct those mistakes. Once you've done it, and you confirmed it by going to the end of the whole session, which is in most cases about 1 hour, when you come back again, then your subconscious mind has got all the stickers in that it needs to understand, hi, there's something where my brain has misunderstood it completely. And where the brain is the only one who can actually change that. With my help, by giving the brain the ideas of, look here, this is wrong, that is wrong, that is wrong. You're sending messages there and there and there, and you're not interpreting right. So by doing this, I only instruct the brain. I do not put in things that the brain can't understand. That is what you do in a circus or on a Tivoli hypnosis. There you put in things that the brain doesn't have any connection to. Like telling the brain, you're a chicken. It's so stupid. The brain knows I'm not a chicken, but due to the hypnosis, the brain does things that are not on its level. And that's why they get stuck there and why it's totally wrong. What I'm telling your brain is what the brain knows. I tell the brain, look here, you've been doing this, that, and that in this fall, in this sequence. And that has been wrong. You can't do it this way. Because this, that, and that. So please change it again. And I tell the brain how to change. This way, a hypnosis becomes totally without any, not even the slightest little danger. It just doesn't exist. So guys, if you are a sufferer, if you have the panic attacks, you know pretty well what hell you're going through. And I promise you, you can do much, much worse than trying to use the DreamWalk. You have nothing to lose. But your letters will show me that you could win. Thanks.